Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clark on YouTube. Oh no! There's just something about dusk and these lights. It's really, really pretty in the nighttime, and that's why I like to record videos in the nighttime for you, because it's just so pretty. Everything is just so fitting. Thank you guys so much for hitting the subscribe button as many times as what you have on my YouTube channel. It is so amazing how many people support all of my videos, whether it be about Disney, whether it be about Nickelodeon, whether it be about something pop culture related. I can only hope that you keep hitting the subscribe button if you're a fan of shows like Jessie, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Bunk'd. I'm hoping you're going to find time in continuing to hit the subscribe button, because without you, this YouTube channel could never have been made possible, or never could have gotten to the point that it has. Over 1,600 plus fans have hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel when you could be anywhere else on the internet tonight. You're on my YouTube channel, searching up your favorite videos from Disney's past, such as Jessie, which was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And of course, the focal point of this show was Debbie Ryan, Peyton List, and I was the biggest Peyton List fan in the world, because me and Peyton List share a lot of similarities. We both love movies, we both love hanging out with friends, we both have poor vision. I have the worst vision in the world. There's no way possible that Peyton List's vision could be worse than what mine is. Me and my friends have always shared this joke about how if you wear my glasses, you can see into the future. You can literally take a glimpse into your own future and see your future before your very eyes. No joke. People have always made fun of me for that, and me and my friends have shared that joke for years. But when I think about it, my friend who initially threw that joke at me for the first time in high school wasn't kidding, because I have the worst prescription for glasses ever. I have new glasses, for those of you who may have never noticed in some of the recent videos I've thrown up on my YouTube channel, because my prescription has been updated, and my glasses look pretty fashionable, in my opinion. Peyton List's vision was apparently that bad that she used to pass the ball to the opposing team, and they would take the opportunity to score on her team. I used to do that in high school. I used to pass the ball to the opposing team, and they would score, because my vision was so poor. But sometimes, when I would never admit to it, I would purposely pass the ball to the opposing team, because I didn't like my team members, and I wanted them to score on us, and I wanted our team to lose. But you don't have to tell anybody that. Peyton List's passion for movies. I have the same passion for movies. I think I go to the movie theater every 2 weeks. When I was a teenager, I lived literally 10 minutes away from a local theater. And I used to love the old-fashioned theater and the feel that it used to give me. I used to go there on cheap nights, which was every Tuesday, and I'd see a movie for $5. And the last movie I saw in that movie theater was, ironically enough, Nightmare on Elm Street, conveniently enough and ironically enough, before the theater burnt to the ground. They say, in an old spooky story, that the production room caught a fire. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they say. And mysteriously enough, that theater was never opened again. Now, ever since I moved into the city, I have to go to IMAX presentations, D-Box, motion seating. It's just as cool, but in my opinion, seeing a movie in an old-fashioned theater, you can't beat it. And Peyton List is a big fan of movies, and I find time in appreciating that, because I'm just a big fan of movies. My very first movie that I ever saw, just to let you guys in, flashback to 1993, was Dennis the Menace. And the first time the movie was shown to me in my lifetime, the sound must have been on bust because it scared the life out of me. I jumped literally out of my seat, and I've been going to movies ever since. That was followed by the Flintstones, the Power Rangers, a lot of Disney movies. I went to see so many movies over the years. Rugrats was one of the ones that I went to see also. The Replacements was another one. Ready to Rumble. By 1999, of course, that was featuring a lot of my favorite pro wrestlers in 1999 from World Championship Wrestling, which I did a lot of interviews for years ago in the first half of my career. And now in the second half of my career, I get to talk about all my interests when I was a child and a teenager, which a lot of you share the same interests in, which makes this podcast one of the most successful and most highly viewed on YouTube. And I can't thank you guys enough for that, because of my passion for Disney, Nickelodeon, pop culture related content. And if you share the same interests, I hope you're going to find time in hitting the subscribe button, picking up up the phone using your iPhone and texting your friend and letting them know about this cool content, which they too can find time in appreciating. Peyton List also loves to go to theme parks. I don't know how many theme parks I've been to in my life. I remember going to a theme park called Splash and Put, literally 3 hours away from where I live now. And there was an old golf course on there. I used to love to play mini golf, but I also used to love to ride the bumper cars and go around the track. And I always used to bang into the car in front of me. I wasn't the best driver in the world. The best driving skill that I have these days is driving a mobility cart when I go to pick up groceries, and some old lady asks me to drive her mobility cart back to where the carts are stationed. And surprisingly enough, I can drive it. I don't know if I could be just as good of a driver of a car or a truck. But the most driving I do now is a mobility car. I guess it goes all the way back to when I used to drive bumper cars. I used to remember riding a lot of fear rides years ago, and I used to get motion sickness. And I remember one particular time I was on one of the fear rides, and I got off the ride, and the guy operating the ride at the time looked at me and said, "Are you okay, sir?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." And the next thing you know, I'm over there throwing up in a garbage can alongside the ride. Oh man, I was really sick. I think I ended up in the back of an ambulance that time, flashing you back to when I was on the way home from a friend's house, wanting to catch the latest episode of Liv and Maddie, which was premiering on a Friday night. And it was really dark. It was just after dusk, and I fell down and broke my arm. So I've really stepped it up a notch for these Disney shows because I've been a huge fan of them. But what got me about Peyton List was her passion and her desire to want to always entertain. Of course, her family has a history. Her brother Spencer has been in so many movies ever before she had the opportunity to. But her mom also found the opportunity for her to entertain too. She thought it would be good for her. And her parents were always supportive of her being an actress, although they wanted her to aspire to go to college and to better herself. But she, after a couple episodes of Jessie and Bunk'd had been filmed, she wasn't ready to go. She wasn't ready to leave it behind. And she convinced her parents to want her to continue to act more. And she had that opportunity, and she got so many opportunities outside of Disney too, like with Cobra Kai, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But Cobra Kai is a TV series that I've been binging here lately. The aspiration of being Tori Nichols. Cobra Kai is a really, really cool show that encourages you to stand up to your bullies, to be who you want to be in life, and don't let anybody try to tell you who to be. So if anything, Cobra Kai is a show on Netflix that went 6 seasons that came off as a series with the desire to want to inspire people to be better people than what they were and to stand up to their bullies, like a lot of shows tried to do, but it could never convey that same kind of message. So I really appreciate her portrayal of Tori Nichols on that TV series, just as I appreciated the portrayal of everybody on that show. It was a show that definitely ended long before its time. There was a lot of emotion packed behind the series finale. I remember years ago when Jessie had its series finale, and there was so much emotion coming from Debbie Ryan. She said she wasn't ready to go when Sweet Life on Deck finished and saw their series finale in 2011. She told the producers at Disney she wanted more of an opportunity to create, and she got that in the TV series Jessie. Remember the series finale, how it finished, and she had the opportunity to be an actress. The Jessie character did, and then of course people like Emma Ross's character, that was portrayed by Peyton List, had the opportunity to go on and become camp counselors on a TV series where we saw everything happen for them. I remember in 2018 when Peyton List announced that she was going to be leaving the series on X. It was Twitter at the time, and everybody didn't want to see Peyton List go. I think she was ready to go. She wanted to partake in other ventures and other projects, and she had the opportunity to do that. So many opportunities have been thrown the way of Peyton List. I remember watching her so many times over the years on Hallmark Channel, Cobra Kai. Everybody was trying to tell me that Peyton List would really do a number on me if I ever had a relationship with Peyton List, but, I think I could take Peyton List. What do you think? I don't know if I could or not. She seems very talented in what she does. I had a lot of respect for Peyton List. I had a lot of respect for everybody on Jessie, no matter how much negativity was thrown the way by them, by critics. I know there were a lot of people who were criticizing Sky Jackson for one of the more recent stories that were thrown up about her online about domestic abuse and stuff, but the thing was, I think that people need to, kind of shy away from that and really just remember people like Sky Jackson and Cameron Boyce for being such beautiful, beautiful souls. Because every room they were in, they lit up. And they had such great personalities. I mean, I don't think there was ever a person that Cameron Boyce never had the opportunity to touch the heart of and light up the light of. Everybody had tremendous respect for Cameron Boyce, no matter if you talk about Peyton List, no matter if you talk about Sophia Carson, no matter if you talk about Dove Cameron, no matter if you talk about Debbie Ryan. Everybody had a tremendous amount of respect for Cameron Boyce because of just how he had this ability to light up every room that he walked into and touch the hearts of so many personalities that he had the opportunity to work with, and everybody remembers him in a different way. I remember all the emotional tributes in July of 2019 that people were putting up on social media, on Instagram and on X and on Facebook, and they were so emotionally overcome about his passing, especially Peyton List, who was just touched by him in so many different ways. She considered Cameron Boyce to be one of her best friends. And just to let you guys know, I will be doing a Cameron Boyce tribute video coming up on his birthday, which I believe is May 28th. That's actually 4 days after my birthday, following my birthday. And it's the 6th anniversary of Cameron Boyce's passing due to epilepsy complications. And I know how big of an effect that has on a lot of people, how much of a challenge it is for people living with that disease and that condition. But I will be doing, despite that, I will be doing a Cameron Boyce tribute video for you coming up on May 28th, because I know the response that I was getting for a lot of my Cameron Boyce tribute videos were through the roof. This YouTube channel was blowing up because of Descendants, Zombies, and of course Cameron Boyce tribute videos last year, ever since last August when this YouTube channel premiered. So just to let you guys know, to give you a bit of an update, I'll let you in a little something. I will be doing more Cameron Boyce tribute videos, even if it is just once a year, like a lot of people were suggesting I do on this YouTube channel. I will give you what you want, and I will give the celebrities who are huge fans of Cameron Boyce, like Dove Cameron, what they want, basically to have his memory live forever. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, to me, this was a really emotional series, Jessie was, and Bunk'd was just a funny series and an emotional series in its own right, too, because it taught us a lot of life lessons. And I think what Disney was trying to do, and the creator of this one, Pamela O'Connell, was trying to do for us, it was trying to get us ready for life, because every episode seemed to teach us a different life lesson. Of course, it focused on Jessie being the nanny of all the Ross kids, and in every episode, I don't think there was one lesson that was never ever taught. No, it was a different lesson from episode to episode, and it was packed with so much emotion. And you were watching it, even though the series didn't, you know, have episodes that were to be continued very often. They had shows that were to be continued of extreme rarity. But even though the shows didn't have episodes that were to be continued, and it was just one episode after another, no matter if it was just an everyday episode or a Halloween or a Christmas special, you were always tuning in to see where the Ross kids were going to find themselves, what kind of predicament Jessie was going to be caught up within. And I found time in appreciating that, because Jessie ultimately became one of the most popular TV series from 2013 to 2015. October 16th, we saw the series finale, October 16th of 2015. We saw the series finale of Jessie. Nobody knew where the original cast members were going to go, because, of course, Debbie Ryan was going to be leaving this to pursue other projects in life, kind of like with Bridget Mendler. This was a TV series that took place in the same world of Austin and Ally, and within the same generation of a TV series like Girl Meets World and Liv and Maddie. So it had a lot of competition, but despite having a lot of competition, by 2015 it would go down in history as being one of the greatest of all time, kind of like the new Hannah Montana of the new updated generation. We all know that Hannah Montana will go down in history and will hold the record for being the most successful Disney Channel series of all time. But when you talk about a show that taught us a lot of life lessons, yes, Hannah Montana taught us a fair share of life lessons, but this one ultimately also taught us a lot of life lessons and was getting us ready for the challenges that we, as the fans of it, were going to face. Kind of like how Descendants and Zombies now are teaching us to stand up to bullies, whether it be in high school, whether it be because of situations we're faced with in our life, and how to overcome them. I give the producers and the writers a tremendous amount of credit, because they were geniuses. I mean, look what they did for Cameron Boyce. He went on to become Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil in the Descendants franchise, and became one of the most popular and revered characters of that entire series. You know, I don't care who you put in the Descendants franchise, this new spin-off, The Rise of Red, Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker, phenomenal talents in their own right. But I don't care what kind of Disney VK kid you put in there, no matter if it's the son of Hercules, no matter if it's the son of Robin Hood, who's going to be Robbie in the upcoming spin-off, Descendants 5, which is really interesting. Nobody is ever going to top Cameron Boyce. No one is ever going to leave an imprint on all of our hearts the way Cameron Boyce did. No one is ever going to put so much emotion behind a character. Remember, if you're talking about Jessie, Bunk'd, Descendants, every other project he ever had the opportunity to do within his lifetime, which was very short-lived. Nobody is ever going to replace him or ever have the same kind of impact or imprint on all of our hearts the way he did. And he will be forever missed. He is one person who I go above and beyond to talk about on my YouTube channel, because I really appreciate him, and I have the highest amount of respect that anybody could ever have for someone like Cameron Boyce, to go through what he did in his life, to try to teach us life lessons and to get us ready for life, because that's what he was doing. He was getting us ready for life, just like Peyton List and Debbie Ryan were getting us ready for life. But he really was getting us ready for life, and he taught us so many valuable life lessons, and he was definitely someone I think that we could all learn from. And he's going to be someone who's going to be missed. I miss him. I miss him a lot. Just kind of like how I miss Peyton List and all the opportunities I had to see her when I was a teenager. I used to stay up late at night watching reruns of Jessie. I used to stay up, I'm talking like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning when I wouldn't have the opportunity to see the premieres on, say, Friday nights. I would always catch the repeats of it because I would read the description. I would always catch myself reading the description on the TV guide back when digital cable was the thing. We didn't have these on-demand services, these streaming services like Disney Plus. I mean, you're talking all the way back in 2012, 2013. I would stay up late at night to catch the repeats of this whenever I wouldn't see the premieres on Friday nights, because the premieres would be on Friday and Saturday nights especially, or Saturday mornings, what have you. And I used to love this show. I think if there were 100 episodes of Jessie, I think there was something like between 94 and 97 episodes of Jessie. I virtually saw every single one of them. I remember one specific episode of this where Peyton List's character Emma Ross ran away from the home of the Ross kids, the hotel or whatever they were living in, and there was so much emotion packed behind it. I also remember the Halloween special and that haunting story about a character named Abigail and how Debbie Ryan's character Jessie fell in love with a mysterious man at a Halloween party. There were so many unpredictable things, so many unpredictable elements of this TV series, but it all fit together so appropriately. And that's why I miss the original writers of these shows. That's why I miss the Pamela O'Connells, the Michael Jacobs of the world, who were credited for the success of TV shows like Jessie and Girl Meets World. Sure, they were spin-offs, like Bunk'd became a spin-off eventually of Jessie. But the thing was, Pamela O'Connell and Michael Jacobs really had it together, and April Kelly, who also had a hand in shows like Girl Meets World. I miss the creativity of these shows. I don't think that Disney will ever produce stars or create stars or distribute them the way that they have over the last decade. Probably the closest they will come to it are the Kylie Controlls and the Ruby Rose Turners of the world of the Descendants franchise, and that's the biggest thing they did outside of shows like Berserk, Raven's Home, Coop and Cammy Ask the World. Sure, they were great shows, but they were shows that ended long before their time. I mean, a show like Coop and Cammy Ask the World could have easily went 3 or 4 seasons, but unfortunately only got to 2 seasons, and that really depressed me because I was becoming a fan of Berserk late in the series. I was becoming a fan of a show like I Didn't Do It late in the series. I was becoming a fan of a show like Coop and Cammy Ask the World late in the series because of the friendships, because of the chemistry. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many times, how many pairings they auditioned before they fit the roles of characters like, I don't know, Zed and Addison for the Zombies franchise, or Red and Chloe for the Descendants franchise. I mean, they do so much tests of chemistry, and they run it back probably through 300 auditions before they narrow it down to the Kylie Controlls, to the Ruby Rose Turners, to the Bridget Mendlers. I mean, there is so much that goes behind this, and that's where you have to have a tremendous amount of respect and a tremendous amount of credit for people who narrow it down to the Peyton Lists and the Cameron Boyce who make shows work. And they are legends, in my mind, even though they haven't been solidified officially as legends. They are legends who will forever have left imprints on all of our hearts. I don't know if I can speak for everybody who watches this show and click on my thumbnails, but I know that from my perspective and how I choose to look at it, they are stars that will forever leave an imprint on my heart from now until the day that I die, because I've always been a Disney fan. I've always been a Nickelodeon fan. I've always been this fan. I've always had this thing for pop culture and YouTube creation. You know, I don't know if you guys like the videos or not, but you're here for a reason. And I can't thank you enough for being here. I don't even know if you're a fan of Jessie, but according to the YouTube analytical system, over 400 views per Jessie video on this YouTube channel, over 300 views per Tangled video on this YouTube channel, over 500 plus views for every Descendants video that's thrown up, or a video pertaining to a Descendants character, be it a Dove Cameron, a Kylie Contrell, a Sophia Carson, a Mila Baker. You guys are racking up the views by the numbers and the subscribers by the numbers on this YouTube channel. I can't thank you enough. I believe Peyton List's favorite color is purple. I meant to make my lights purple, but I went with pink because there's just something about these lights being pink at the night time just after dusk that's really pretty. And usually in the night time I could be caught watching reruns of Descendants and Zombies, but I decided to jump on here again after having a cup of tea to talk about my appreciation for Peyton List, because I had promised a 2-part series of Peyton List. I'm just getting around to recording the second part of that two-part series, because there's so much to talk about when you talk about shows like Jessie and Bunk'd, and the media for these shows over a decade ago were unbelievable. I mean, people like Peyton List were always coming in and out promoting it. I just recently watched an interview she did for People's YouTube channel, and I'm going to be showing that to you here momentarily, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful interview where she answers so many questions to the fans who were left kind of in the dark after a series like Jessie and Bunk'd had finished up, and after that emotional tweet on X from her, I believe it was Twitter at the time, where she announced she was going to be leaving Disney. I mean, I don't care who you are, but there's always emotion, no matter how many weird behaviors you exemplify after you break away from Disney and get away from them. There's always emotion, because of course Disney gives you your start. And I said this in the previous Peyton List video I posted, I believe, that Disney does not forget you. That is the thing. You take a look at the induction of Miley Cyrus as the youngest Disney legend ever. The youngest Disney legend ever in 2014. By 2024, she was the youngest Disney legend of all time. So that is a true testament to how Disney does not forget about you. By 2024, she will go down in history after having done everything there is to have done as the youngest Disney legend ever to be inducted into the Disney Hall of Fame, and she will wear that ring for the rest of her life, for the rest of eternity, as the greatest Disney legend of all time. Do I think that Peyton List and Dove Cameron will never get to that point, even though Dove Cameron poses a close second to her? No, I don't. Have we heard about Ashley Tisdale being inducted into the Disney Legend Hall of Fame? No, we have not. And it's a long way away from happening, because people like Ashley Tisdale will never ever quit, will never ever go away. And I truly believe that people like Kylie Cantrell will never ever quit because of the passion she's been exemplifying. You know, in my opinion, people like Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hudgens should be in the conversation for being a Disney legend too, but we're a long way away from that having happened. So, you know, I really believe that because of people's contributions, they should be Disney legends. But here's the thing. You know, you talk about all the unprofessionalism exemplified by Disney, about how they're not giving the stars creative freedom, how they weren't allowed to do this, how they weren't allowed to post this on social media, but it was for a very good reason, because at the end of the day, by the time the sun set on all of our lives, these stars like Peyton List came out as stronger people. Sure, they may have exemplified a scattered weird behavior on social media and a 30-second video they may have posted on TikTok, but here's the thing. They came out stronger people. They learned a lot quickly, and that's why they exemplified the weird behaviors. But you have to give credit where credit is due, because a lot of people like Demi Lovato, who cracked under pressure, that could have happened to a Peyton List. That could have happened to a Kylie Cantrell, but it didn't. And they are better people at the end of the day because of it. Why? Because Disney put them on the path to that direction they wanted them to head in. They stayed on that path, and it made them better people in the end. And that's where you can choose to criticize Disney, or you can give them the benefit of the doubt and give them credit where credit is due, like I'm choosing to do on this beautiful night. So what do you say if this two-part series about Peyton List, we take a look at this footage from People's YouTube channel? I love this interview with Peyton List. I've been meaning to show it to you for a while. You can leave me your opinions in the comments. I love Peyton List, by the way. She's one of my favorite actresses of all time, and that's why I'm really excited to have the opportunity to watch this interview with you. Check it out! Oh no! You know, I've often wondered how many of you that have subscribed to my YouTube channel, even those of you who have yet to subscribe, scream "oh no" every time you hear the intro of my YouTube channel, because it's quite popular. Anyway, with saying that, this Peyton List interview is one of the best that I've seen in a really long time. It was done by People magazine, and the questions posed to Peyton List in this interview were absolutely fantastic, as they say in Hollywood. If you have a minute, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, and leave it for me in the comments, your opinion on Peyton List and the direction of her career, which is absolutely fabulous. I love everything about Peyton List. I've been the biggest Peyton List fan for forever, and I hope you will enjoy this interview just as much as I enjoy showing it for you and collaborating these videos. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let's watch this interview together.
I look at the Disney years of my life as I really was in middle school and high school, so I look at it as that. And then my college years I spent on Cobra Kai and School Spirits, and now it's like post-college. My family moved to New York, and we were on the Staten Island Ferry, and a modeling agent from Wilhelmina came up to my twin brother Spencer, and they wanted to sign him. And we were young kids, like 5 years old, probably. And my mom thought it'd be fun. We just moved to the city, be like a fun way to get to know the city. And she had modeled and done like runway. And so she took us in, and they wanted to sign him, and my mom's like, I think my daughter would be interested in doing this. So they signed us both like there, and then we started doing it after school, like auditioning for commercials and modeling in the city. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. It was definitely a hard balance. Like I would be studying my lines on the playground, or, you know, going into auditions after school, or getting pulled out of classes and getting pulled out of school to go shoot a show or something. So it did make me a little other, and I would miss things sometimes. So I think it is harder at that age for people to understand. So it was kind of a weird thing that people sometimes make fun of me for as well.
Here, Dad, let me.
I remember auditioning for 27 Dresses when I was like 8 years old, and I played the younger version of Katherine Heigl, and I was just so excited to be on that set, and they brought me to Rhode Island, and that was really when I remember like the director really took me under her wing and like hung out with me, and everyone in the crew and on set, like just, it was fun being a kid on set because everyone just wanted to teach me about their job and hang out.
If every time you see an ad, you just wanna, you need to download Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads on all your favorite sites. It even blocks ads.
Look! Give me back my moon! No way! I need it for my solar system! I'll show you a moon.
I guess when I was a teenager, or maybe even 12 years old, coming out on a Disney show, I just feel like that was really when I felt the shift of people knowing who I am and stopping me. It was slow at first, and then all of a sudden I realized just how big Disney is, because it was just every kid my age. I suddenly felt like they knew who I was.
Emma Ross!
When the show it kept getting picked up and people were watching, and that just bonded us so much, like having this show that we're all part of and playing family on that. Yeah, I definitely leaned on them so much. I mean, it was just us in school together, and so we were just like running around Hollywood Center Studios, and I think we a lot of us moved to LA. Like me and Sky moved to LA from New York, so I think not knowing a lot of people in a new city really brought us together.
Jeez, I was just trying to have some fun.
Looking back on it now, I'm like, that was the most fun experience of my life. Like, I think just being at that age, being 12 years old, getting a Disney show was one of the craziest experiences. I met all kinds of different people because of it. I think going to the White House was one of the craziest ones. Our studio teacher, Cheryl, after Michelle Obama, the first lady, after she guest starred on Jessie, Cheryl was talking to the chief of staff, and she told the chief of staff that we really would love to go on a school field trip to the White House. And we were the most normal kids. And so we would be fangirling over so many people who were there. We're like, I feel like Cameron's like, Beyonce's here? Like, we have to go meet her. And we were just huge fans. And yeah, we were fans ourselves. So when people were fans of us, I think that was a funny thing to comprehend, because we all just felt so normal.
Look, this is all my fault. I'm so sorry.
Apology accepted.
Cameron's mom and dad, Victor and Libby Boyce, and his sister Maya, they all run the Cameron Boyce Foundation. And so they raise money every year for finding a cure for epilepsy. And they've really just done a lot of work to really like keep the foundation alive and keep his memory alive. And yeah, so I just try to go every year and raise as much money as possible. And yeah, just talk about him whenever I can. And yeah, he was such a great person. He was one of my best friends, and he was like a brother to me growing up. So every time something big happens, I want to call him. I didn't expect to cry, because I talk about him so much that I don't expect to cry anymore. But yeah, it hits at different times. So we wrapped up Jessie, and then me, Karn, and Sky signed on for a spin-off show for Bunk'd.
Stamps, postcards, the last shreds of my self-respect.
And I made sure to sign on for only the amount of episodes that I ended up doing. And I was like, it's not enough. I want to do more. And my parents told me, well, you know, you're going to be a certain age and you're probably going to want to, maybe pursue college or move on to other projects. You're young now. Like, why don't you just make the decision now to sign, because you're signing a contract, and then once it's done, kind of reevaluate. And so, yeah, as it was finishing up, I think it felt natural to move on to other projects because it had been, 7 years of working with them, which is longer than most Disney stars or Disney shows ever really run. So I think I was really grateful for the time, but they were right. It was time for me to move on and explore other characters and other stories.
You guys can put on a show. Can you actually fight?
That sounds like a challenge.
I like a challenge.
I didn't feel ready for that role of Tori, but she's just such a presence. She's always ready to fight someone, and I feel like she's so different from me, but there are parts of myself that I found through playing her.
I'll take the little girl. You take it the big guy.
It taught me so much. I mean, working on the World Tournament, the Sekai Taikai for the final season, we had all of the best fighters, best stunt doubles, best stunt choreographers coming in to work on it. And so working against them and people would be like, just intimidate me, fight me. And I knew that they could take me down. And so just having to work with them every day and sort of and drill that. We had a third generation black belt, Sensei Tony. So I think working with him, and he really instilled a lot of confidence in me because he's like, you're great. You got this. And just hearing that from him. And he would always tell these long stories while we were stretching at the end of our training. And I would never know where he was going at the beginning, but it kind of felt like a Mr. Miyagi. Like, it always wrapped up to where it was some huge, profound, beautiful story. And it was always something so simple. And I really love the respect aspects of karate and coming in and coming onto the mat and having to bow to each other every day. And I think there's just so much respect in the stunt world as well. And that really instilled a lot of confidence. Like, they can take me down, but they are the nicest people in the world.
All right, champ versus champ.
Whoever wins gets the park.
Deal. But you won't win.
Jacob is the best person. He's such an authentic, genuine soul, and I trust him so much. I go to him whenever I need advice. We love traveling. He's really into backpacking and camping, so he's really that was a dream of mine growing up in Brooklyn. My parents were like, we don't know how to camp. We like food and we don't want you doing this. This is unsafe. And so Jacob has really shown me the ropes, and he's taught me how to be more of a minimalist because I definitely travel really heavy. He's like, no, does this really need to be in the bag? Because you're going to be carrying this for miles and miles. So he's been a good influence on my life. And I think I've been a good influence on his. While we were filming Cobra Kai, we went on the Appalachian Trail. And everyone made the mistake of warning me to have you seen the TikToks around the Appalachian Trail? And so I looked it up the night before going. Don't do that. Do not do that. It's terrifying. But I still went anyways. And we met so many cool people on the trail, and it was nothing like what the TikToks said. But I guess we got lucky, so.
Tori chose the other side. But we can't keep letting her get in our heads like this.
It's a really funny balance because we were all reminded constantly that it was almost the end, and we would keep reminding each other, and we were trying to be as present as possible and really appreciative. But then also when it's a really long day and we're doing these huge fight sequences, there was also the side of me that's like, okay, it's the last time. I have to, pretend I'm a martial arts, it was definitely a balance. But I also got to know Billy Zabka and Ralph so much more because it was the last time. And so I feel like we all were just opening up so much more and just really enjoying the moment. The whole cast of School Spirits really, they all live in New York. Nick, Sarah, Miles, Jess, they're all my best friends now. So I got so lucky that the show introduced me to them. It's funny because there's the sort of ghosts and then the living world. And I feel like Sarah Yarkin and Nick Pugliese, their characters have been dead for so long that there's so much comedy within it. And they're just always making jokes, and if one of us has a heavy scene, everyone is having fun in the green room. And everyone is just like constantly talking and joking around, and like it's the loudest green room I have ever been in my life. And so sometimes one of us will just be like, I have to remove myself for the day. I have to go because it's too much fun in here, and like I'll immediately be in a good mood, and I'm not in a good mood today, and this is too hard to separate, and so we'll just leave. But we have a lot of fun.
Well, we have a new student with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Madison Nears, but everyone calls me Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, Nate Trinrud and Megan, the siblings who created School Spirits, I really feel like they're like family to me. I trust them with everything. Like before we start the season, we'll have a dinner, and it's so nice having people who run the show who I just feel so safe with. Maria Dizia, who plays my mom on School Spirits, she's so fantastic, and she's a director, and she's just worked so much. But doing a scene with her, if it's an emotional scene and I'm bouncing off of her, something about her energy, and I feel it from her so deeply. If I need to cry, I would be bawling my eyes out, and reacting to her is just a masterclass in itself. She's amazing. She's taught me so much. She's like sends me so many like movie and show recommendations, and is just such a genuine person. I admire her so much.
Nothing ever changes here. It all just resets.
I'm not like Maddie. I wish I was as cool as Maddie. Like, yeah, all of the horror references she makes, I'm like, okay, I guess I will watch this now. But we're very different in that way.
I used to think nothing was scarier than death,
Maddie finally finds out what happened to her.
but now I know it's what comes after death.
And that Janet, a ghost from group from the 50s, she supposedly moved on. And you sort of believe that throughout the season, and then you realize that while Maddie was in this emotionally low place, Janet ended up inhabiting her body and going out into the world. And that's exactly where season 2 picks up, explaining exactly what happened and how that was even possible. And then it follows a lot of Janet and her journey throughout the second season. So it's definitely taking a much darker tone, and it's much more intense than I was expecting it to be. I just moved to New York just for a few months in between projects, but I feel like I'm really just like stepping into myself, and I feel like I know myself better than I ever have. I just have such good friends and people around me. Like I just feel really solid in my life now. So I just feel like at this stable spot, which is first time in a while, I think.
You know, I used to think that nothing was scarier than death too, and then I grew out of it. I literally, when I was a kid, I used to be terrified of death, and then I grew out of it because I realized it was the inevitable, and you couldn't do anything about it. Having said that, that was a beautiful interview, and I enjoyed watching it just as much as probably all of you did. So if you have time, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date with notifications about everything happening on this YouTube channel. Over 1,600 plus subscribers. I can't even believe I just said that. I can't even believe that's the reality I am faced with this YouTube channel. But I know, at the end of every day when the sun sets on my life, this YouTube channel would never have been made possible if not for each and every one of you who have hit the subscribe button, because you could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you're here. And I can't thank you enough for that. So if you haven't rang the bell yet to stay up to date with notifications, please go out of your way to do that, and help this YouTube channel stay positive, and just have something up here for everybody who loves this content and appreciates it just as much as I do producing it for you. So, just to let you guys know, this Sunday is May the 4th, which means it is Star Wars Day globally. And I guess that means I'm going to have to be here with a special edition of my podcast for you on Sunday. As I promised you, every significant day on the yearly calendar, I will be here. And one of them, fortunately enough for Star Wars fans, will be May the 4th, 2025. So at some point on Sunday, I will be back with another video, so I hope you can join me for that. But I will let you know something. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, but fortunately enough for Descendants fans, Dove Cameron did have something to do with LEGO Star Wars. She played Becky Smuchenbacher, so because she played a character on LEGO Star Wars, I will be here on Sunday. And even if I have to talk about Descendants to commemorate Star Wars Day, May the 4th, 2025, we will do it. Although there's just something about the Force never having been with me all of my life. But I do want to put that out there that I will be here Sunday to commemorate Star Wars Day 2025. May the 4th be with you. I think that's how the slogan goes. Kind of cheesy and cliche, but that's besides the point. But I just want to put it out there that I will be here on Sunday, May 4th, 2025, to commemorate that day for every Star Wars fan and Dove Cameron fan out there. It's been a while since I've done a video specifically dedicated to Dove Cameron, so I'll be throwing up more Dove Cameron videos as time goes on this YouTube channel, and that will commence on May 4th, 2025. So I hope you can join me on Sunday, May 4th, 2025, as we commemorate Star Wars Day, May the 4th, this Sunday. So be sure to be there at some point. I'll have a video for you on Sunday. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. Give me a second to switch back over, and we will close this thing out. It's been a whole lot of fun. You know, over the last, 15 years, I've watched so many Peyton List interviews, but that was one of the best. I really appreciate her honesty, how upfront she is about every opportunity she's had as an actress, and how emotionally connected she is with every fan who's ever supported her. And she's just like each and every one of us who love to hang out with friends, who love to go see movies, who love to ride fair rides, although I'm really afraid of some of them, especially the high-up rides. I don't know if I'd ever be able to ride the Tower of Terror, but I remember, riding roller coasters and Ferris wheels and being absolutely terrified when I was on the top of it, especially when you get on top of a roller coaster and it would go so slowly up the track, and then you get to the top of it and then it would just, let go. Oh my God, it was terrifying to me, riding roller coasters. I really appreciate how Peyton List is very upfront with her fans. And I really love these interviews, and I love having the opportunity to watch them with you. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you're going to want to do that, because I am somewhat crazy like each and every one of you. And by crazy, I mean you never know what I'm going to throw up in the way of a YouTube video, what my opinions are going to consist of, and I'm sure you share the same kind of respect and admiration for a lot of the stuff that I throw up on this YouTube channel. I think you will find time in appreciating my conversations and my content that I distribute on this YouTube channel, which I have a whole lot of fun distributing and creating for you. One of the most challenging things as a YouTube creator is getting somebody to hit the subscribe button. I know not every one of you are going to hit the subscribe button. For every single person who hits the subscribe button, you push this YouTube channel further out into the algorithm, so the algorithm can recognize that this YouTube channel has content that people appreciate. Whether that content revolves around zombies, whether that content revolves around Descendants, Jessie, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, your favorite Disney movie, your favorite Nickelodeon TV series or movie, your favorite thing having something to do with pop culture. I really, really appreciate how people are just here, because you could be on anyone else's YouTube channel watching their videos, but you watch my YouTube videos, and I can't thank you enough for that. So if you have time, please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, pick up the phone, text your friend, let them know about this amazing content that they will also find time in appreciating, and we can watch all of this together and find time in appreciating. Guys, I love every single one of you for just being here, because you could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you're here with me. And I can't thank you enough. Please continue to show your support and your love for this YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button. Bye, YouTube. We will do it again in a couple of days.